So Channel 9 is something that we started as a company about 5 years ago. A good friend of mine, Len Pryor, and I had just returned from the Professional Developers Conference, PDC 2003. And the thing that you have to remember back then was things that we take for granted at events were some things were happening that were kind of new, right? Microsoft at that time had about 80 employees blogging, and blogging was sort of new, and things we take for granted today, like following Twitter and stuff, had obviously didn't happen yet. At our event, we did a lot of things to enable community for the first time at our event, like making sure that people blogged about the event and talked about it. That was pretty amazing for us to be able to see, because for the first time you could sense this real-time online pulse about what was going on at the event. People blogging about it, talking about it, and so forth. When Len and I returned from the event, we kind of joked and go, geez, we'd go out and we'd look at the comments on the blogs and see people talking about it. And for the very first time, you could see how much that connection between employees at Microsoft and the attendees of the event really happened, and people really got to see for the first time the people behind our products. And we joked afterwards. I said, if we could have a PDC every day of the event, every day of the year, what a wonderful world it would be. Our jobs would be so much easier. So Channel 9 was the idea of we could go do that online. And so a lot of people hear the name Channel 9 and they go, oh, okay, that's like a TV channel or something. It's not at all where the name came from. Where the name came from was actually Len had this horrible fear of flying. And when he was so afraid to get on an airplane that before Microsoft, he almost lost a job over it. And to actually save his job, a friend of his said, look, you're going to get, we're going to have somebody pick you up and take you to the airport and talk to you on the way to the airport. And he says, great, they can talk to me all they want. I'm never getting on a plane again. And so Len, this fellow shows up at his house to pick him up and says, hey, I'm a pilot for American Airlines. I'm going to drive you to the airport. And you can ask me any question you want about flying. So he asked him about, how much can the wings deflect? What if we get hit by lightning? What happens if we hit a bird and things like that? And what safety parameters? And just any question we want. And he was feeling pretty good about flying. And he said, oh, okay, so now we're getting to the airport. You're going to fly with me, right, to the East Coast? And he goes, no, I'm not. But the good news is you're flying on United today. And I want you to get on the airplane. I want you to put on the headphones when you sit in your seat, and I want you to tune into Channel 9. Channel 9 is the in-flight audio on United Airlines. And what was cool about that was, he said, when you listen and things are happening in the plane, you're going to realize that the people up front that are flying the plane are calm, cool, and collective. If you're hitting turbulence, they're not up there going, oh my God, we're going to die. They're saying, hey, we need to go to a different, different altitude. So we thought about how could we go and create our own kind of in-flight audio for Microsoft through Channel 9 and through media. And the idea being is that people that, we're a platforms company, and our success is based on the customers that use and build upon the software that we create. And so if you think about it, people bet their livelihoods and their career decisions on software, right? They go into their boss on a Monday morning and say, hey, we need to go use Silverlight, or we're going to go do something with Windows, or hey, let's go upgrade to a new version of operating system or server. Well, if we adjust schedules, change features, or don't communicate, that's no different than you flying in that plane, and if it all of a sudden just veered off to the right, you'd be a little bit freaked out. So what we try and do through Channel 9 is to kind of give that inside of the cockpit voice for the company. Let customers connect with us and get the people and the engineers behind the products and bring them forth. This is 5 years ago, long before, the buzzwords of social media and things about Twitter happened. And it was really this first time where we could actually really carry this deep one-on-one connection between the engineers behind our products, the people that use them, and create that dialogue. And community in general and just blogging and outreach has been huge for us as a company. If you think about back when from the earliest days of Microsoft, we've always been connecting out with the community. This goes all the way back to when we had a bulletin board system for people to connect to and get updates. CompuServe, we were there in the very early days of CompuServe, onto news groups and IRC and blogging, and now Facebook and Twitter. I mean, if there's been a technology for connecting with customers, our employees are there en masse. I mean, you can go to the Microsoft network on Facebook. A long time ago I brought up those numbers, but I don't think that there's a company on the planet that has more employees for the size of our company on Facebook. Same thing goes with Twitter.